And best-loved champions, he drove the iconic Ferrari 500 and defended his title the year after. It was Juan Manuel Fangio in his Ferrari 250 who secured the team's next driver's title in 1956. Remember, he was world champion 5 times with 4 different teams. Mike Hawthorne, Phil Hill and John Surtees also won titles for Ferrari in the 50s and 60s. And the cars back then were beautiful. And they even sounded great, didn't they? Anyway, Ferrari went 11 years without winning a title until Niki Lauda won in 1975 in the iconic 312T. Throughout much of the 80s and 90s, though, Ferrari looked like they'd never go all the way again. The Professor Alain Prost came pretty close in 1990, but lost out to his bitter rival and former teammate at McLaren, Ayrton Senna. It was only when John Todt recruited a swathe of staff from outside of Italy, including Michael Schumacher, that the glory days returned 21 years after their last driver's title. The turn of the century saw the prancing horse sprint to an unprecedented 5 consecutive championship doubles. And after Schumacher left, Kimi Raikkonen reclaimed the driver's title immediately. But despite employing 1,500 people, the Iceman remains the last Ferrari world champion. So, 16 constructors' titles, 7 more than McLaren, and 15 drivers' titles, 4 more than, again, McLaren. Ferrari are truly Formula One's top team. Forza Ferrari.
Good morning, it's Saturday, you're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Coming up for you on the show today, our 12:30 commentary comes from the City ground as Nottingham Forest host Chelsea. Can Ange Postecoglou finally get his first victory as Forest boss ahead of the game? An incredible rant. The Forest manager claimed that many in the media think he's a failed manager.
If you look at it through the prism of, I'm a failed manager who's lucky to get this job, and you're smirking at me, but that's what's been said, right? And I can find the print that's actually that said.
God, Ange, I missed you. And after Jordan Pickford signed a new contract at Everton, his manager, David Moyes, made a bold claim about the England international.
He's a big voice, he's an important player. He's certainly one of the senior players here, that's for sure. And he's been very good. Since I've been back, he's been excellent. But I wasn't surprised because obviously when I had him at Sunderland, he was a really, really good young goalkeeper.
Yeah, and in the late game today, Arsenal travelled to Fulham. Gunners boss Mikel Arteta defended summer signing Viktor Gyökeres despite his slow start to the season.
Pressure is gone, the expectation is going to be there. So if you put the number 9 shirt for Arsenal, you have to be able to say, okay, 6 games, don't score. I'm a different player, I start to act in a different way. I want much more of the same of what he's doing.
The game gets underway at 5:30 this evening. We'll have all the updates for you here on talkSPORT. A bumper day of action. We've got 7 matches from the Premier League and there's a full programme coming up in the AFL too. We'll look ahead to it all today and we want to hear from you. 03717 22 3344 is the number, 81089. If it's safe to send us a text, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. Oh.
Sudden?
Oh, yeah. And you're live. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Really good. Good week. Chilled out a bit. Played a bit of golf. Watched a bit of international football. Yeah, it was good.
Do you know everyone in the week's like, oh, can't wait for the Premier League to come back? I really enjoyed the international break there.
Yeah, me also. I mean, Ireland did get a needed win against Armenia. Didn't play particularly well, but I'm sure we'll somewhere along the line talk about that today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watched sort of caught up on England as well. I mean, it does amaze me the amount of stick England get. I mean, look, England are in a really easy group, Shebahn. For the standard of player that England have, you know, games like Latvia away, not conceding a goal in the group so far. By the way, there were other groups. Spain haven't conceded a goal, got maximum points. You know, England have done the same. It's not really an issue anymore. There were periods in time where groups were tougher and England might not qualify every now and again. But the way the setup is now, major nations in world football are going to qualify quite easily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they were bound to qualify.
Yeah.
You know, some people were cautious with that going into it. No, we've got to qualify first. It's like, come on, get over yourself. Of course you're going to qualify. Yeah,
well, it has been harder in the past, that's for sure. They've just opened the door up with more. You know, I get the idea in football of, you know, obviously there's countries that have to be given the opportunity to try and make major tournaments for the infrastructure of their football in their own country, for it to grow. I understand all of that. That's why we've seen the World Cup go from 16 to 24 to now 48 teams, and it might expand even more by the next World Cup.
Everyone will be there.
If you don't make it, you'll be
no way Scotland can't qualify for that.
Well, you've got a chance, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Premier League is back, and you're in for an absolute cracker today.
And it's nodded into the near post, and Arsenal may just have snatched the victory in stoppage time. Chelsea have landed a blow on the champions. It's Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Don't be fooled, Arsenal, they will take Liverpool all the way. Semenyo getting to the byline, now pulling it back. Oh, how has he squeezed that in? Jensen scores. Manchester United are beaten again. The Manchester United have not only stagnated, but regressed under this manager. Erling Haaland had never scored here at the G-Tech. Well, he most certainly has now. It's his 12th goal of the season. To Moises Caicedo. Oh, he's rifled it in. What a strike.
The winless streak continues for Ange Postecoglou, and the woes carry on.
If it doesn't turn around quickly, I think Postecoglou will find himself under pressure.
The greatest drama in the world. This is the Premier League.
The man who wins trophies under more pressure, and he's not even returned from the international break yet. Nottingham Forest live for you on talkSPORT today at 12:30, taking on Chelsea. Also coming up today, your 3 o'clock kickoffs. You've got Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Leeds, Palace take on Bournemouth, Man City face Everton, Sunderland face Wolves, and then 5:30 is Fulham taking on Arsenal. I mean, Ange yesterday, just, you know, he had the international break to himself.
Yep.
Probably had a little chill time and thought, I'm coming back and I'm socking it to the press. I love him for that. I think he's good.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, you know, witnessed firsthand a couple of occasions listening to Ange do his press conference, and it's quite lively. He speaks, he's open, and I think he gets very frustrated with the amount of criticism that he certainly had at Tottenham, and he's getting at Nottingham Forest at the moment. He needs a victory though. Whatever we talk about in football, if you're losing games and you lose enough of them, people think you're gone, because that is basically what the football is now, isn't it? You've got weeks or at best months if it goes, you know, 6 games, 7 games, 10 games, and he's at the stage where he's had now 7 for Forest.
Yeah,
so 7 games, hasn't won once off the back of a season. See, last year hinders you. You come in because last season was fantastic for Forest, getting European football. And so when you open the campaign, and they started with a win immediately under Nuno, and then it went downhill from there.
Yeah. If you missed it, here's Ange Postecoglou's incredible press conference rant yesterday.
Of course there's pressure. There's difference but there's pressure anyway. So if we win on the weekend, there's a pressure ease? No, there's always pressure. There's a difference between pressure and difference between saying that somebody should lose their job after 5 weeks. I mean, I only just found an apartment to move into, mate, which may be a bad decision on my behalf. Should have stayed in temporary digs, you know. That's how early it is. So there's a difference. Like I said, you can, yeah, we haven't won a game. I'm as disappointed as anyone with that. No one likes not winning games of football. But within that context, if you look at those games and suggest to me that we weren't in a position to win any of those, then that's a different story as well. But yeah, the pressure's there, but the pressure's always there. We're not talking about pressure. Pressure is part of managing at this level, and we're all judged by our results. And at the moment, the results are suggesting I'm not doing a good job. That's a far cry from people saying I should lose my job or speculating I should lose my job after 5 weeks. That's a different end of the spectrum.
But Cass, this is the way it goes in the Premier League. You don't often get time. Never mind winning a trophy, Ange. As you mentioned, win a game.
Yeah, look, we are extremely harsh, Shebahn, in football. You know, in other walks of life, people are expected to get into a position and at least 3 months before you'd think you'd start criticising. We can criticise, and I'm guilty as anyone of doing this, so we can criticise what we're witnessing, and fans likewise, what they're seeing, and they don't buy into it immediately. In football, that is the world. You have to buy in literally the first moment someone takes a job, the first moment a manager does a dressing room talk, you know, and it's a tough game. Yeah. And it's very hard to survive in football. Just look at the numbers of sackings at all different levels. It's not just Premier League. And it's across the board. You go to Europe, it's the same. It's the same in international football, that people lose their jobs in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. You know, you go to Saudi Arabia, you be a manager, and you get sacked 6 weeks, 2 months, I don't know. Yeah. It can happen to many different managers.
Absolutely. And it's got Chelsea today. I mean, based on the stats and his record against Chelsea, you know, it'll be a huge result if he's to take even a point today.
He definitely needs at least a point. Chelsea were a good side. I watched them against Liverpool, was really impressed. I mean, they've got a number of issues at centre-half, but then Nottingham Forest have got a number of issues at centre-half position as well, with players they need out there. You've got to find a performance somehow, because Chelsea do give you a chance, but if they get going, they can be a really dangerous side.
Totally agree. Chelsea today for Ange, then it's Porto at home in the Europa League on Thursday, then Bournemouth.
Another tough one.
Yeah.
Also, it'll be a tough game.
It doesn't stop.
No.
And you're in Europe in the Premier League, there's no easy game. There's no winnable game, especially when you look at Ange's results. You know, it's tough. It's tough for them. Also coming up today, you've got Sunderland against Wolves. Vitor Pereira's side still searching for their first win of the season. He says it's only a matter of time until his side starts picking up positive results.
We faced a strong team, and against Brighton we faced again a strong team. If I look the progress of the team, I'm realizing that we are more competitive now. Because we are very close to win, and we didn't lose.
It's a vital one today for Vitor Pereira's side. I mean, they hopefully have to get a win against a newly promoted side.
Well, if you take the last 3 games, Shebahn, where they played Wolves, got a draw against Brighton and Tottenham, all 3 solid performances. That's really where they've got their points so far. You know, and I know you could look at difference with cup competitions, but they look at more an outfit that are certainly not going to be rock bottom for long. I think they'll come out of that. I think Wolves will be fine. I think Larsson, who hasn't really got going, I mean, he's had injuries to deal with, but Strand Larsson is a big player for them, losing players in the summer. This has all been said before, but I think he's a good manager. Mm-hmm. I did one of his early games when he was Wolves manager, when they played Spurs away last season, and he literally changed the team. He ended up 2-2, but he made loads of changes that made a massive impact into the Wolves side. I think he's very capable, and that's the reason why the club have given him a new contract, because they know they've got a good manager.
Yeah.
And I think he'll prove everyone that he is.
Yeah, he's got a job to do, that's for sure. Forest and Wolves all in action today. Who's more likely to get a win? 81089. You can let us know your thoughts on that. Coming up next, we're going to look ahead to what's coming up on talkSPORT today. And later this hour, we'll discuss the idea of a salary cap in the Premier League. We'll get Cass's thoughts on that. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it. So many tunes.
Yes.
Oh, we have Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, I was going to say Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah. Oh, good morning. Listen to Weekend Sports Breakfast.
Stevie Nicks, isn't it?
Phoebe Nicks.
Stevie
Nicks.
Stevie.
I think it said Phoebe Nicks. I was like, no! You're miles off it.
Yeah.
You're listening to Weekend Breakfast at Shebahn Aherne Tony Cascarino, Lies by Fleetwood Mac. Why are we playing this story, Cash? You might have heard this in the week. There was a rumour going round on social media and it went viral that Newcastle midfielder Joe Willock get lost in a maze in York for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it was reported that the emergency services had to get involved to come and rescue Joe Willock from this maze. Yes.
I know where we're going now.
Yeah. Yesterday in this press conference, Eddie Howe was asked all about it and if he'd talked to Joe about this rumour.
Yeah, I did discuss it with him, just to check whether it was true or not. Probably like everybody else, but this is sort of right in the early stages of it. Thankfully, it wasn't. But no, Joe's fine. He's good. I think he's got the ability to laugh with it rather than be concerned by it.
I love the idea of Joe Willock just opening up his phone, on Wednesday and being like, apparently I'm lost in a maze somewhere. How things just start and catch fire, and before you know it, you're just being vilely spoken about for lies.
Yeah, it is funny. Because we do stereotype footballers, don't we? And
lost in a maze.
Smartest. I've been there myself. Is that what you're aiming at? Me?
Well, there was I didn't know if Cass knew this story, but I remember one day a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, there was, has anybody heard from Tony Cascarino going around?
Oh, yes.
talkSPORT. And we were like, no, why? What's happened? I mean, is everything okay with Cass? So apparently Cass's wallet was found and his keys were found near a train station and nobody could get hold of Cass. And they were trying to phone him, everyone was trying to access him.
Well, saying it happened to me,
And everyone was going, oh my God, something's happened to Tony Cascarino, something's happened to Tony Cascarino. And it turns out he'd put his wallet on the top of his car. Driven off, the wallet had come flying off. But I remember that time, everyone being really, really like, oh God,
drove off.
No phone.
And do you know what was
keys.
funny as well? I heard the little tumble of something dropping off my roof of my car and felt, I wonder what that was. Mm-hmm. And then carried on driving. And then I got a message. I see some missed calls on my phone. And I thought, what do they want me? And it was like quite a few times. When you get someone who rings you and they ring you, so it's like 3 missed calls from the same person.
Yeah.
And I think it was Ian Morris who works here. Ian was the one who was trying to contact me. And eventually I phoned and it went, well, no, what? Everyone's wondering what happened to you because...
Like everybody was worried.
Yeah. But all my wallet and my keys, the woman in the, there's like a, it's like a not surgery, a little... It's where you'll get all your medicine and pharmacy. So, yeah, it was a pharmacist, but it also had a doctor's side to it that you could go and see. She collected them all and put it in her office, and I went there, and she was phoning me as well.
She was phoning talkSPORT, like, I found Tony Cascarino's stuff. Is everything okay? Yeah. Oh, my God, the rumours went wild that day.
She was brilliant. I went in and we chatted, and she was great. Yeah. And she said, I've just, I didn't know how to get hold of you because... Yeah. Where I live, Alpington Station, most of the guards know me when they see me. They say, hello, how are you? So they sort of, because I had my ID in there, that someone's, the lady spoke to people there and said, "Oh no, he's known. He used to play football and he works for talkSPORT." And they tell, so it spread quite quickly.
Absolutely, it did spread quickly. I remember the messages, the group chats, but you were just completely oblivious watching a football game somewhere. You can let us know your thoughts on this. Have you ever heard a story about you that wasn't true? 81089 03717 223344. The most bizarre fake news you've ever heard about yourself. That one really made me laugh. Joe Willock and Amaze. It's just weird to picture and then having to phone emergency services to come and help him.
Fake news.
Oh, you better hope that's fake about you, Joe Willock. Another one of the games coming up today, Cass. 3 o'clock kickoff. Man City hosting Everton at the Etihad. Loanee Jack Grealish will be ineligible to play for Everton today. City's win at Brentford before the international break was Guardiola's 250th victory as manager in the Premier League. He achieved it in 349 games, the fewest of any manager. And he was asked if he saw himself seeking out new adventures anytime soon.
In 2035, I will start to think about it.
He's obviously a performance analyst, so he knows what he's talking about in many respects. I suppose on the wider conversation about his feeling that any project within football should last up to 5 or 6 years.
Absolutely. I think in life, in the best is when you have a new project constantly. When you do the same for many decades or years or centuries, always is, it's completely different. But I think that, I said many times, that come naturally. It come when the club, or in that case the manager, the players feel it. So we are not the same like we started 20 years or 30 years or 10 years ago. We are completely different. But that is a question of many reasons. And when they happen, it happens in a natural way, especially in that club, like the relation I have with, since the chairman, since the last person is so close and never will be. We are incredibly honest with that when we feel that it's moment to make another step for the club, for everyone.
Pep Guardiola there. Cass, do you think City are in a good enough shape to challenge for the title this season?
They're certainly better than I thought they were going to be. I've been impressed as the season's gone on. And just an interesting one here, because sometimes you need to look at small detail that tells you a story. Mm-hmm. When Erling Haaland signed that, 9-year contract not so long ago, he would have had a conversation with Pep Guardiola. And one of the questions would have been, are you staying? Manager, you're the guy that's offering, or the club are giving us this contract for me, but are you staying? What are your intentions? So there's a long-term project there for Pep as well, quite clearly. Because Erling Haaland signing a 9-year deal is mainly because of, obviously, his relationship with Pep Guardiola and how he thinks he's improved him as a player. Because Erling has improved. And if you go back to Bayern Munich and Barcelona and City in general, well, Pep Guardiola, I know he's had loads of transfers, but City are a club that do make a lot of ins and outs and had tough choices to make at certain times. But what you can say, he has improved a lot of players. Mm-hmm. Because he's a very good manager and seeing development. And you might not agree with some of his ideas. And that's one of the reasons why I think there will be a long-term project for Pep Guardiola. Because Erling Haaland has signed a 9-year deal. Yeah. That's telling you a story in itself.
Do you think just that there's always been this kind of conversation around Pep, and did he not throw it out there once that he would go and have like a long sabbatical somewhere and just drink?
He's done that. He had a year off, that again. No, I don't. I don't see the Klopp scenario, because a lot of people always relate to, well, Klopp and Guardiola have got the same. They both took that sabbatical at a certain time in their career. Mm-hmm. I think his experience. He had a year off, didn't he? And he went to New York and he spent a lot of time sort of travelling and doing stuff. And I think he's now firmly in his mindset of City, the project.
3 o'clock today, Manchester City take on Everton. All of the updates coming for you here on talkSPORT Game Day Live with Adrian Dunham. And of course, 12:30 today, the Premier League returns with Nottingham Forest hosting Chelsea. 12:30, download the talkSPORT app. You can take us anywhere with you. By the way, talkSPORT app also has the talkSPORT Daily podcast. It's Ollie Klink and Dean Ashton analysing the key aspects that make Erling Haaland one of the greatest strikers in the world right now. A hat-trick for Norway this week. Saw him become the fastest player to reach half a century of international goals, and he missed 2 penalties in that game as well. So weird. Dean Ashton says we may be witnessing the greatest striker to ever play the game. Make sure you can tune in to the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast. It's on the talkSPORT app and you can download that for free. Right, coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. Ooh, It's a busy old day after us. Max and Charlie got the warm-up from 9 o'clock, and then it's game day exclusive at 11 o'clock from Nottingham Forest. They take on Chelsea on talkSPORT 12:30. talkSPORT 2, we've got 3 more commentaries for you there this afternoon. QPR versus Millwall is at 12:30, followed by table toppers Coventry versus Blackburn at 3, and then 7:45 Leicester versus Portsmouth. Ian Danter will be with us shortly to preview all of the EFL action, and then at 2:30, as we mentioned before, Game Day Live with Adrian Dunham, going around the grounds with all of our reporters, including Ollie Clink.
Hi, I'm Ollie Clink. I'm on my way to the Amex today for Brighton against Newcastle. Brighton are on a 3-game unbeaten run, while Newcastle picked up back-to-back wins before the international break. But the Magpies have never won at the Amex in the Premier League. I'll have Alvin Martin, the former England centre-half, alongside me for Brighton against Newcastle.
Ooh, if you're watching on the smart TV just now, you will see that Ollie Clink has the best eyebrows at talkSPORT. I'm always jealous. Then, of course, Jimmy and Jason taking your calls on the Game Day phone-in from 5:30, and then it's Rory Jennings, 7:30, and Fight Night around at 9. All coming up for you here on talkSPORT. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast. Good morning. Good morning. This is Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. We can't talk about it. Sam's like, don't talk about it. But Sam, you know, he's giving me serious face. See, I'm trying to get Cass on Instagram, but I've just been engaging with something on Instagram that's it's a bit weird, isn't it? But it just sounds like a win-win for me. I don't know why I'm not allowed to do it.
It sounds like you want to get it off your chest. I'm not getting involved in this one.
People are a bit weird, aren't they?
Yeah, we have a percentage of people that are not the full ticket. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Strange. I'm dying to talk about
we
it.
all have our weird moments as well and crazy ideas.
I've just had to block the person, but I mean, it just sounded like a great deal for me. I'll tell you off air, Alex. Don't worry about it. Some of your headlines you're waking up to today. Middlesbrough went back to the top of the champ as they delivered a statement 2-1 victory over pre-season promotion favourites Ipswich Town, and the government has said it is doing everything in our power to overturn the ban on Maccabi Tel Aviv fans attending a football match in Birmingham. Of course, it's the Villa game. On the 6th of November. In other news, it was announced this week that former Arsenal and England midfielder Jack Wilshere has taken over as manager of Luton Town. His first game is up against Nigel Clough's in Mansfield, a rather contrasting pair of managers. Get this, when Jack was 6, that's when Nigel Clough became a manager back in 1998. So there's quite an age gap between these guys. Great story though.
Well, and Nigel was managed over 1,500 games as well, and Jack's having his first, so yeah.
I mean, earlier on in the week, Jack Wilshere joined Andy Goldstein on Drive. He said he's been working very hard to get this opportunity.
I had an amazing time at Arsenal. I've said openly, I quickly realised that I'm going to have to get to work on improving myself. You know, it doesn't. If you played the game as we know, it doesn't make you a good coach. There's things that you have to learn, you have to practice, and there's some things that we've never done as players. So I did that, and I didn't want to take that step out of there until I was ready and felt I could make a difference in a first team. That was as a first team coach. It was a really good step. But yeah, and then of course getting the opportunity to lead the team. I always say, Benty, that you never know, right? Of course, my ambition was to be a first team coach, and then all of a sudden I was a head coach and I was thrown into it, and there's a little bit of imposter syndrome, and what's it going to feel like? And I absolutely loved it. I felt completely comfortable.
New Luton Town manager Jack Wilshere there. How do you think he'll get on?
Well, he's as you know, a Luton boy. He's from Marsh Farm in Luton. And,
is he from Marsh Farm?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, look.
Lots of people from Marsh Farm.
I know he's from Luton, and I mean, I lived very close to Jack. I used to see him sometimes in and out of the petrol garage. Never spoke to him because you don't impose yourself on someone who's a different generation, as a footballer. And he's made one, I think, fantastic decision already, and that is Chris Powell as his assistant. Okay. Chris Powell's been there around the block, managed himself, had a huge amount of games at all different levels. You know, Chris has been at Southend as a manager. He's been at Charlton. He's just that is a smart choice straight out the bat. Having someone with you that knows these leagues inside out. And I think that's a great start for Jack. And look, he was caretaker for Norwich for a couple of games, wasn't he? Look, there's no idea how anyone will do. You know, if you had said to me 10 years ago when Jack was a player, and what an accomplished player he was, by the way, fantastic footballer, Jack. But he seems to have, he's very humble, the way he talks, and I don't think he'll ever be one of them who's going to put himself in front of players and think, well, I did this and I was good this. He's not. He's going to be an absolute, for me, humble type of manager that players will communicate brilliantly with.
Yeah.
And look, I know Gary Sweet at Luton, and he would have known of the credentials, like Mick Hartford, who works there as well. I think it's a really good choice. Luton have been on the slide, and it's been bizarre to watch them go from top flight to down in League One so quickly. So I'd like to think the Luton faithful would be absolutely behind him, which gives you a bit of a leg up, but only a bit. He's going to have to prove himself. But I think there's a lot in... I listen to Jack, and I think he's a very smart lad.
Yeah, no, yes, you're right. I think he comes across very well. Luton against Mansfield in League One. That will be Jack Wiltshire's first game in charge of Luton Town. Don't forget, 3 EFL games coming up for you on talkSPORT 2 today. QPR take on Millwall at 12:30. Coventry Blackburn at 3, and then Leicester take on Portsmouth 7:45. All live for you on talkSPORT 2. And it's time now for this. So many of you up and about this morning, on the road to a stadium, to taking a game, to always follow your team wherever you go. We're doing trips of the week this morning. Newcastle are 11th in the Premier League, one place ahead of tomorrow's opponents, having played the same amount of games. So are they confident? Let's find out. Sorry, the game is today. Let's find out. We say hello to Newcastle fan, probably somewhere just off the M1, maybe Darren Curry from Newcastle Supporters Club. Good morning, Darren.
Darren?
Good morning. Everything okay?
Wow, Darren.
He's got the pink lights on. He's 4 o'clock this morning, Darren. How many of you are in that minibus this morning?
We've got 2 coaches heading down the day, 106 of us.
Oh, fair play.
Wow.
Fair play.
It's some trip, isn't it? So come on.
Yeah.
Tell us about...
It's a nightmare of a trip. It's probably one of the worst. It's probably one of the worst of the season, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just getting everywhere, doing the end of the 3 o'clock kick off, the traffic's bad and everything. It's not the best of trips.
Yeah. Well, it can be a great trip if you get a result and you're heading up back, isn't it, Darren?
If you win the game, the trip doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no matter what time you get back, if you've won the game, that counts, you know.
Are you one of them Newcastle fans, Darren, that take their shirt off and stand there with all their belly and that hanging out, or, you know?
I know I look fat, you know, but I'm not.
I didn't mean it that way. I meant just taking your top off.
You tried to insult us straight away there. No, I didn't do that anymore, no.
Yeah.
I'm a bit too old for that.
Oh, no, you're not. You're never too old for anything. Darren, how long is that journey, by the way, in the sat-nav, driving all the way to Brighton from Newcastle? Because driving from London to Brighton's a nightmare.
You're talking about 7.5 hours each way.
Oh, okay. That's that. I was thinking more.
It isn't as bad as you think it is.
Okay.
Well, no, the first few hours are great because the roads are pretty clear. It's when you get sort of edging towards London, it starts to get busy, Darren, isn't it? And then it's all the way.
When we get to about 10, 11 o'clock, that's when it gets busy, aye.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a packed lunch and everything with you? Like, who sorts the packed lunch for all the supporters on the bus?
They all sort their own. No, I've got my own with it, and they all sort their own, aye. They're pretty regulars that travel with now, you know.
Yeah.
What's in your sandwich?
What's in my sandwich?
Yeah.
Ham, cheese and chutney.
Cheese and chutney. I've not had one of them in years, Darren. I'm a bit jealous.
Are you going to give us all the crew on the
Maltese sausage rolls, you know, because I'm posh.
Are you going to give us a chant this time in the morning?
Yeah,
Newcastle fans a little bit from the bus.
Let's liven them up in there, Darren. Go for it.
Liven them up.
Just fancy having a sing by talkSPORT.
Oh, look at them all on the bus. Morning, troops. Good morning.
You've got absolutely no chance. You've absolutely no chance.
Tell them to give us a big how we the lads. How we the lads.
How we the lads.
Oh.
You found one anyway.
Listen, Darren, good luck today. What's your prediction for the game? Newcastle again, travelling down to Brighton. What's your prediction today, Darren?
2-1 win the day.
Good luck to you. Thank you so much for coming on and supporters.
See you later. Cheers.
Take care, Darren. All the best to you. We just knew it. We just knew the signal started cutting out there somewhere on the M1. God,
it never ceases to amaze me the things that people will do to watch a football match. It is extraordinary. The lengths they'll go to, time, money, just being a fan of a football club at all different levels. And they go in their hundreds and sometimes thousands.
Yeah.
Obviously, a big club like Newcastle.
So many people out in the car listening now, making that.
But I did it as a kid. I used to go all over the country.
Yeah.
When Liverpool were playing, I'd go to places just as a young kid, and I'd also go with my friends to watch other teams play, whether they were Arsenal supporters, Spurs fans, or whoever. I'd go to games and just go. They say, "Oh, there's a busload going from Tottenham going up to Manchester United, who are my pals," and say, "Do you want to come along?" I say, "I'll jump in, and come along."
Yeah,
just to see a game at Old Trafford.
That's what it's all about. If you're out on the road today, let us know. 81089. Good morning to another fan heading to a game today, Rob Brown. He's a Halifax fan. Sorry, drive. He's not a van. He's a fan, and he's driving all the way to Truro.
Halifax van.
He sent us this little video. Good morning to Rob Brown.
Right, it's Saturday 18th of October. It's 4 in the morning. We're off to Truro to support Halifax Town. 366 miles ahead of us.
367 miles.
God, sorry. Come on, Shebahn.
Come on, Shebahn.
Come on, Shebahn!
Shh, we're my neighbours.
Come on, Shebahn!
Amazing.
That was quite scary, that
was
video,
the three of them sitting in the car.
It was like a scene from a scary film.
It was a bit weird. You
Yeah.
can send us where you're going today. Rob, thanks so much for that. Good luck to Halifax today. If you're heading to a game, let us know. 81089. By the way, if you want the chance to win £100,000, this is the time to tune right in. We're giving away our biggest cash prize today, 100 grand, completely tax-free. And here's how you can get involved.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 33338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Just thinking that video there sounded like they were being held hostage.
Yes, it did look a bit like.
It's day 834. It's 6:45 a.m.
Yeah.
You're listening to Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we're going to discuss salary caps. Ooh.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, this is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside Bromley's finest, Tony Cascarino. In your headlines this morning, Middlesbrough went back to the top of the Championship, delivering a statement 2-1 victory over pre-season promotion favourites Ipswich Town. It was live for you on talkSPORT 2 last night. Red Bull's Max Verstappen beat McLaren's title rivals at Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to take pole for the sprint race at the United States Grand Prix. And also the Premier League are divided over whether to introduce a new salary cap prior to next month's vote on financial regulations. A new anchoring proposal would only allow clubs to spend 5 times the earnings of the club who finish bottom of the table. So talkSPORT's Simon Jordan was in favour, but apparently not anymore.
I want a salary cap, but I think ultimately the genie is out of the bottle in terms of talent. You've got global audiences around the world watching other leagues. All you're going to do is allow these other leagues to bridge the gaps, to widen their opportunities and give them as many opportunities as they haven't got right now in terms of catching up with the Premier League.
Cass, what do you think about this? I mean, if they can take the bottom of the championships plus the TV rights that they'll bring in, and then it's 5 times the amount of that would be the cap, the player salary cap. But I think it's something like, that would be something like 550 million. It could still work out.
Yeah.
Like 500 million, whereas Manchester United's wages is something like 350 million. So are we not already kind of like past the cap?
Yeah, it's a really weird one with wages. I touched on this about 10 years ago, and I started looking at different decades of football from the 60s up till where we are today. And there were massive leaps. If you take 1980 as a starting block, best or around 1980, the best paid players were Peter Shilton and Kenny Sampson, £3,000 a week. By the time it got to 1990, it got to Liverpool, John Barnes, £10,000 a week. So it had gone threefold in that decade. But the massive growth was 90 to 2000, because 10,000 in 1990 became 100,000 by the time Roy Keane signed apparently a deal worth 100,000 a week. So it'd gone tenfold in the 90s. Well, the obvious answer to that is TV, the revenue, new stadiums being built, obviously more money in the game being invested. 2000 to 2010, it sort of went from 100,000 to 200 plus, just over 200. But the Tevez deal that happened just after, into the, I think around 2012 or 13. So it sort of doubled in a bit at that previous time. But then you got to Ozil and Sanchez at 350, 400 by sort of years late to 2017, 18 to 20. All them sort of deals were coming around. So it hasn't had the growth like it did between 1990 and 2000. I've never known, Shebahn, a period of wages going down. And one thing you can't stop is competition, because we might say a cap for 3 players, like they do in America with their systems, that they'll have top earners. Well, there is top earners, but it's very hard to stop it in football because clubs want to improve and want to be successful, and fans want to win things. So someone will always pay someone a bit more to get that particular player.
Yeah.
And are you trying to stop that?
David Bentley had mentioned about when it came to salary caps, he thinks it's important to have it for, say, under 23. So make as much money as you can. It's a short career. And obviously it's very different times, the way the money is, but they can't access the vast amount of the money until they're 23, because what's the point in having an 18, 19-year-old walking around with 30 grand a week?
Yeah.
So
there are issues.
Protecting players as well.
Yeah. There are issues, because what we do now, this is football. This has been the development of certainly over the last decade. players of my era, you always had to earn your stripes to get great contracts, okay? You had to play well at a certain level, and you wouldn't be in your early 20s. But because potential's become so important that they're throwing the kitchen sink at young players.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of having too much too young, where you're going to the young... There'll be lads that are on thousands a week who have never played a professional game.
Yeah.
You know, so trying to... You know, earning good money and buying new cars and buying, you know, other things that are unnecessary at a very young age and having a huge amount of wealth can be self-destructive in itself. There are many players that have gone AWOL after earning really, really big money as a young player and not establishing themselves. Now, no one has a gripe really with players who have earned their stripes in football to go, he's got to be one of the top earners at the football club. Because he's played 100 games, he's done really well, he's got this CV on his record. No one really has, I don't think, a problem with that.
Do you think anybody's really worth like 100, what was he, Sack, 120 million, 130 million? Like, is anybody really worth that money? I mean, I know this is just the way the game's going and that's the way it is, but it's obscene.
But there's many examples in life of people earning huge amounts of money, they're top of their industry. I said to Sam, our producer off air, I said to him, just out of interest, you know, football is the easiest sport, even though I heard Jamie and Gabby talking midweek about, you know, 0.1 chance of being a professional footballer. There's I think from FIFA 23, there was a survey done. There were 125,000 professional footballers in the world, right? That's just Mao. Which is obviously increasing now with women's football, 125,000. Now, how many sports would you say you can get a lot of money in if you were outside the top 100? A lot of sports you wouldn't get good money. Mm-hmm. Football, if you're inside the top 1,000 in football, you're earning big money.
A lot of money. Yeah.
A lot of money. And that is because it's so popular globally.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is market forces taking place. So it's a very difficult one to... I think it's more working on the basis of the individual you're dealing with and clubs having more responsibility of how they look after their money.
Yeah, no, you make a good point there.
There's lots of interesting stuff around money because people can lose money. And there's many and many examples of not just footballers, but actors, singers who have lost fortunes, whether it's been negligence or whether it's been people taking advantage of these people. It's very, very important to learn how to negotiate money.
talkSPORT has spoken exclusively with Fulham owner Shahid Khan about this subject. He spoke to Will Gavin and he's in strong favour of financial restrictions to help maintain competition in England's top tier.
For the sport to be sustainable, you have to have some of those guidelines that have to be enforced. So there is competitive balance and there is sustainability. So all of that really is necessary really for the sport. But I think when you look at, a holistic picture, why is NFL so successful? Okay, salary cap. And it took a while, for it to make sense. And the sport is highly competitive. And frankly, when you look at Premier League, why is it by far the most successful soccer or, English football league in the world? Competition. You have competitive balance. And I think those rules keep the competitive balance. And with that competitive balance, the media rights go up and the money. So that's the other way of really transferring the revenue. And you look at the other leagues, in the world, I'm talking about soccer leagues, they don't have the competitive balance and they don't have the media rights. So it's basically unsustainable.
Fulham's Shahid Khan there. It's a really interesting conversation between him and Will Gavin. You can watch all of it on the talkSPORT USA YouTube page. His team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, also take on the LA Rams this Sunday at Wembley. That's live for you on talkSPORT 2. Also this weekend over on talkSPORT 2, you've got the cricket. We've got the rights to the limited over series between New Zealand and England. You can swipe across to talkSPORT 2 now on the app or visit the talkSPORT Cricket channel to get all of the latest there. It's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Morning.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Good morning, welcome to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside Millwall Hall of Famer Tony Cascarino. Good morning.
Good morning.
He's very, very proud of himself. Coming up for you today here at 12:30 here on talkSPORT, Nottingham Forest host Chelsea. Can Ange Postecoglou finally get his first victory as Forest boss ahead of the game? A brilliant rant from the manager defending his record at Spurs despite finishing 17th last season.
All I've heard since I finished at Tottenham is that we finished 17th last year. But again, if I have to explain why we finished 17th, just have a look at the last 5 or 6 team sheets of us in the league last year and see what I prioritised. Who was on the bench, who was playing.
God, I love him. Box office. Also, after Jordan Pickford signed a new contract at Everton, his manager David Moyes was full of praise for the England international.
He's a big voice, he's an important player. He's certainly one of the senior players here, that's for sure. And he's been very good. You know, since I've been back, he's been excellent. But I wasn't surprised because obviously when I had him at Sunderland, he was a really, really good young goalkeeper.
David Moyes there. Manchester City take on Everton 3 o'clock today. We'll keep you posted in that game on GameDay Live here on talkSPORT. And later on, Arsenal travel to Fulham. Gunners boss Mikel Arteta defended summer signing Viktor Gyökeres despite his slow start to the season.
Pressure is gone, the expectation is going to be there. So if you put the number 9 shirt for Arsenal, you have to be able to say, okay, 6 games, don't score. I'm a different player, I start to act in a different way. I want much more of the same of what he's doing.
That one's at 5:30. You've got that game. You've got 7 matches in the Premier League and a full programme in the EFL2. All of the details coming up on Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Morning to you. Hope you're having a good day so far. Up bright and early. A lot of you heading out and about to games this morning. A lot of you missed the Premier League and the EFL due to the international break. But we're back with a bang, all underway today, 12:30. Forest against Chelsea. Last night, Cass, we brought you a heavyweight clash at the top of the Championship. High-flying Middlesbrough met underperforming Ipswich Town. It finished 2-1 to the Borough, and it was live for you on talkSPORT 2.
One more roar from the Middlesbrough faithful into Bergdorf, holds off his man superbly right to the box 3 to pull it back to. Oh, Kipric's got an own goal! Whittaker, and he's running towards the penalty area. Lovely layoff to Strelec on the right side. It's an early ball in, tucks away. Whittaker gets his first Middlesbrough goal. A frantic, energetic, thrilling first half of football. Header from the corner is in. It is Darragh O'Shea who's just had that shot. There is the full-time whistle, and Middlesbrough are back on top of the Championship.
Good game, by the way. You've got 3 more live matches coming up for you on talkSPORT today, including QPR versus Millwall and Coventry versus Blackburn. Statement win there for Borough, wasn't it? Back to the top of the Championship. Cass?
Yes, absolutely, Shebahn. And it was a tale of 2 goalkeepers. Both were outstanding. I thought Solbrin in goal for Borough made a very big penalty save and other saves. And I thought likewise with Palmer for Ipswich. Again, 2 goalkeepers played really, really well. I thought the standout outfield player was Hayden Hackney, who I thought was superb, covered every blade of grass. It was a really strange game. For half an hour, there was nothing really happening. Then it just went crazy in 15 minutes. It was a really mad sort of an encounter between 2 teams.
Absolutely. A big game indeed, a big win for Middlesbrough. We can talk now to talkSPORT's Mr. EFL. Ian Danter is with us now. Good morning, Dance.
Morning, Shebahn. Morning, Cass.
Was that a fair comment by me, the game on the keepers and the Hayden Hackney, who I thought was terrific last night?
Oh yeah, you saw that touch map they put up on screen at full time about where he'd been, and he had covered every blade of grass. You're dead right, Cass. It was a very impressive performance from him. And Middlesbrough and Rob Edwards, they're just bubbling along nicely. I think he's done some smart business in the window. I like players like Callum Britton and Matt Targett out wide as defenders. I think they've got all the knowledge and the experience to help some of the younger players along. I saw Callie Sen play at Southampton a couple of weeks ago, and he scored a fantastic goal there. He's a great option to come from the bench. Strelec, he's cost him a fair bit of money from Bratislava, but I think he's a decent target man. And for a guy like Morgan Whittaker, Cass, to have scored his first goal for the club after 26 games, what that's going to do for him, I don't know. It must be so surprising to Plymouth fans and Swansea fans to hear that it took Morgan that long to score for Borough, but good for him. And he had a smile as wide as the Tees River when that went in.
Yeah. Tell us, Dan, so on the game itself, it was a bit of a match, because it started where it looked like it was going to be a real sort of tight affair, a bit chess match-like, and yet it just opened up and went crazy for a 15, 20-minute period.
And I don't know whether Kieran McKenna will particularly like that. I don't know, because if you remember 2 years ago, Cass, Ipswich's away form was astonishing, but their away form appears to be suffering a hangover from last season in the Premier League. I mean, I saw them win a couple of times on the road. I saw them win at Spurs. They got their first win away as a Premier League side, and they totally deserved it that day. But there's something a bit too open about the way they set themselves up away from home that leads to games like this that we saw last night, where, as you say, it did just go like a basketball game either side of half-time. And Middlesbrough were just clinical when it mattered, I suppose, and got the goals at the important moments. But let's not forget, it could have been a very different game had Solbrin not saved that penalty from George Hurst.
And you've got Cov Blackburn today as well, Dance. Is that where we're sending you today for talkSPORT?
This is a place where there is an extraordinary feel-good factor, Shebahn, at Coventry City, at the Coventry Building Society Arena. They've never had as many season ticket holders at Coventry City as they do right now. They now own that stadium outright, which is something they never did when they first moved in there. All the trials and tribulations that Coventry City have gone through in recent times, the nomadic existence that they've led. But Mark Robins steered the ship so well through those times. Eventually paid with his job last November. Frank Lampard comes in, takes on a squad that I think was in a false position of 17th in the table at the time, was averaging 2 points a game towards the end of last season, got them into the playoffs, didn't work out against Sunderland, and they just carried that into this season. And I think they are a real standout team to watch. I think there's there's goals from everywhere in that team. And the crowds they're getting now at that ground is indicative of a club that is so much on the up. And we need to keep an eye on Coventry. I think they're going to be an automatic promotion certainty, the way they're going about their business just now.
Dance, talking about being on the up, on talkSPORT 2 at 12:30, we got QPR versus Millwall, which is a really good, decent. Both clubs are, just on the outside of that, that group at the very top. So really interesting game today there. Yeah,
you got Julian Stefan at QPR. He's got them 6 unbeaten. And then you got Alex Neil at Millwall. They've only lost 1 of their last 6. So it's good to see, isn't it, Cass, that these two teams, I mean, Millwall have sort of been a club that have sort of got in and around the playoffs, but never quite got into them. Season after season, they sometimes come with a late run that's never quite enough. And QPR have had their problems, but they keep producing talented players. You think of all the players that they've let go, Elise and Eze, down the years that have left QPR, and they still produce good, young, talented players. Ilias Chair being the most recent example. And so I expect that to be a very entertaining game that we'll bring you at lunchtime on talkSPORT 2. If you fancy something different to Forest and Chelsea, I think that London derby could provide a great deal of entertainment.
Yeah, easily swipe across to talkSPORT 2 for the coverage of that game. Just quickly as well, Dance, while we've got you, Watford's got a new manager as well.
Yes, kind of.
Well, he's back.
Javi Gracia back for a second spell. And ironically, his first game is up at Sheffield United against a guy who was Watford manager for about 10 minutes in Chris Wilder. He's got his own problems to deal with, obviously. Just one win that Sheffield United have got, a lack of goals completely. And actually, Javi Gracia's predecessor left Watford in a fairly different, decent position. They were 3 unbeaten before Gracia came back. So he's got a platform from which to build. And Watford are just in the top half of the table. So there's certainly potential there for... I think Gracia, of all the managers that have gone through that revolving door at Vicarage Road over the past 10 years, he's the one, I think, that got Watford to the highest sort of heights, getting to an FA Cup final, for example. So I'm sure Watford fans will be thinking... I've heard a lot of Watford fans saying that he was dismissed too soon when he actually left his job in the first instance. So... but interesting test up at Bramall Lane today against a Sheffield United side that are desperate to find some form.
For sure. Dance, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you don't mind me saying you look really well.
I thought there was somebody behind me looking well. I don't know where that comes from, Shebahn. All smoke and mirrors on this Zoom call.
No, you're looking well, Dance.
He's all dressed up for the smart TV. Well done, Dance.
That's certainly not the case.
You do.
This T-shirt is not a smart TV T-shirt.
Listen, I'll take it. Ian Danter, our voice of EFL, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. Have a good day today.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, guys. Enjoy it.
It's always weird when you say that to someone.
I know. It feels like you've been a little bit offensive.
Yeah, he thinks I'm creeping him out.
Better than you last looked.
You look well better than you did a year ago, Dad. By the way, it's the first T20 between England versus New Zealand. The game's live over on talkSPORT 2. We can look ahead to it now with our very own Sam Ellard. Sam, morning, what's happening?
Yeah, good morning, guys. England's winter is a long one, but it could be a rewarding one. We've got these 6 white ball matches against New Zealand, then the small matter of an Ashes series after that. But you shouldn't forget, after the Ashes series in the new year, there is a T20 World Cup. So these 3 T20 internationals for England here in New Zealand. Important preparation for Harry Brook and Brendan McCullum. New Zealand have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl first. There are a few multi-format England players that aren't involved in these T20s. They'll meet up for the ODI. So there's no Duckett, there's no Smith, there's no Archer. Will Jacks is injured. So England go Salt, Butler, Bethel, Brook, Banton, Curran, Cox, Cast, Dawson, Rashid and Luke Wood. So we're just about to get underway. Matt Henry has got ball in hand. It's Sultan Butler that are opening the batting, and there is live radio commentary on talkSPORT 2. You can also watch and listen to the commentary on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel. Henry to Salt, here we go. England batting first after losing the toss.
Love that. Sam Ellard, thank you so much. All live for you now over on talkSPORT 2. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, it's coffee time on a Saturday morning. Cappuccino with Tony Cascarino on the way next.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
taken straight from Tony Cascarino's Spotify this morning. You're listening to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn and Tony with you. Who sings it? Go on.
I'm not sure if is it Neo or is it Neo?
It's Neo.
It's my kids, see.
Yeah.
It's having kids, having a good few of them that you can remember times of music because they would be playing. I thought it was Neo.
It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Neo. God, he's 46.
46.
He had some great tunes. That was like my, I think, kind of teen years, wasn't it? Was Neo, I would say. I've just knocked a few years off myself, I think, there, but who cares, really? Happy birthday to Neo. Any idea what his real name is?
No chance.
Oh, Harvest, I guess. This is a cracker.
Go on. No, well, how am I going to guess a name?
Shaffer Shamir Smith.
Shaffer? That's I've never.
You were close. Apparently he's got four partners.
4 partners? He's gone past me. Neo.
No, he's with them all at the same time.
Oh, at the same time? Oh, lucky man, eh? Well, I won't be going there.
It's just a whole lot of work, isn't it?
God, 4.
Think of all the...
Is that allowed? Well, you hold it. So he's not married to any of them then?
No, he's not married to any of them, but he's... What's the word for it? Is it polyamorous? He's
lucky.
He's lucky. Jeez. Just imagine you come in one day and you've got 3 different
I don't know.
words.
Fair play to him. How many kids has he got? Do you know?
Oh, we'll have a look, actually. I don't know how you get away with that.
Neo? Well, blimey hell. He's gone for that one, hasn't he?
My husband's got 2 partners, me and golf. And I know who comes first in his list. Happy birthday, Neo. Hope you get lots of presents from all your different girlfriends. Right, it's time to settle in and indulge in a nice Saturday morning brew. It's time for Cappuccino with Cascarino.
A cappuccino with Cascarino on the weekend sports breakfast. I say.
So today we've got a golden.
I know. I'm thinking. Well, I'll be with you tonight.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
Someone's going to get a bad deal out of this.
I actually think it might work out okay for the women as well. You know, if you're like,
oh yeah, had enough of
a little bit hormonal and you can't stand his face. He's done nothing wrong, but you just can't stand his face that week. So it works out pretty well for everyone now. I'm starting to think Neil.
That's mad. That's mad.
It's meant. Oh. Fair play to him, though. Some man for one man is our Neo. Anyway, today, Tony Cascarino giving us a cappuccino. It's story time, and right from the heart of England involving Paul Gascoigne. Here's Gaza earlier on this week with White and Jordan discussing his reaction when he didn't get the call up for the 1998 World Cup.
I remember just going and I just knew I had a rough idea that I wasn't going to the World Cup, so I had I think Phil Neville was in the room. He must have panicked because he was in the room, and I kicked the door in, 2-footage TV, and I smashed picked up his wooden, smashed his lamps and everything, went off it. And I think Phil did a runner quite quickly. I think it's the quickest he's ever moved, Phil. And then obviously he's like, apparently the police were steered. There bits of the TV, bits of his rooms on memorabilia behind the bar. Gaza did this.
2-footed a TV.
Oh no, I knew about that story because obviously we were, involved in the sort of campaign building up to the '98 World Cup with Ireland, and the Gaza stories were out there of him being told, and apparently, like he said, he went ballistic. Gaza, I mean, Andy Townsend roomed with Gaza. I think Paul Merson did as well at Borough. And Andy spent a lot of time with Gaza, and of course there's loads of stories about what went on and Gaza himself. I mean, my only experience was with Ireland when we played England in 1990 at Lansdowne Road, which is now the Aviva. Mm-hmm. And remember being in the dressing room when Jack Charlton, who by the way had given Gaza his debut at Newcastle. He was the manager at Newcastle who gave Gaza his debut. And we came in, so obviously the teams had been announced, and Jack Charlton walks in and went, I can't believe it. And he's like, I can't believe it. He's left him out. And we was like, well, who? And, Graham Taylor had left out Gaza. And Jack was delighted. He said, he's their best player. Shannon's his best player. He can't leave. He's saying he can't leave Gaza out against us. And obviously, look, it was a tactical decision by Graham Taylor, which managers have to do sometimes. He made that change because he was worried about our aerial threat as a team because we played quite direct, and he thought that it'd be a tough game for Gaza to have an impact in. So I get that point, but Jack was absolutely delighted he'd left him out. and he played Gordon Cowans, who, by the way, I played with at Villa, and Gordon was a very accomplished player, really good footballer. But it was just a different idea of playing.
And you scored in that game as well.
I came on and scored, and Graham Taylor, who when I signed, I'd asked him about, would he be the manager, because I signed in March, and I said, will you be the manager, because there was rumours of him taking the England job even then. And he said, no, I'll be a Villa manager. And that summer he left and took the England job, Graham. Yeah. And so redemption was for me for looking at him. And he looked at me to sort of say, don't you dare go on and score. And I did. And and Gaza was an amazing player. Yeah. Character, completely bonkers at times, lovable. You'd always sympathise with Gaza because you know that in his madness he's going to do something. But you'd always sort of think, come on, it's Gaza. He's not. A lot has happened in his life. Jack Charlton had spoken at times about his lifestyle as a young player, growing up and going through the system. But you would never associate Jack Charlton and Gaza because Jack was all about playing a certain way. Yeah. But he knew that Gaza was an absolute special talent that you'd have to play.
Yeah. 1 in a million, isn't he? Just one of a kind. Great to see him here on talkSPORT. Early.
And look, and sounding like he's
a good place,
a better place than he was,
Yeah, fair play to him.
Which is Gaza's, as we all know, there's been a lot of bad press. He's been in the front pages more than the back for a long time now, and hopefully he can make some sort of recovery.
Well, absolutely, very well said, Cass. That was a classic English cuppa this morning for you. Cappuccino with Tony Cascarino. You listen to Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. We'll get stuck into the Premier League action. It returns today. Morning. Welcome along to Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne and former Millwall Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino, who's Neo's biggest fan.
Well, yeah, I like him.
You like him a lot more now.
It's a lucky boy.
Just talking about it being Neo, the singer's birthday today. If you have just joined us, he's turned 46, but he's got 4 partners. He's polyamorous, so Cass is getting an education this morning as to what that is. You're just a bit jealous of him now, aren't you?
Well, I find the wife's thing, and many people, we all laugh about it. And, you know, and I said to you about, we should do a tech subject on who's had the most wives, famous person with the most wives or husbands. And you've found Zaza Gabor, haven't you?
Zsa Zsa Gabor, the late Zsa Zsa Gabor, the actress, she had 9 marriages in total.
Yeah. I saw her in an interview, I think it was with Parkinson.
Right. And
he's talking to her, and he says to her, how many husbands have you had? And she said, what, including my own? That was a line back.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What a line.
That's a
How many
wonderful.
husbands you have, including my own?
That's excellent.
But yeah, she was a socialite, wasn't she? Yeah. An actress and a socialite, Hungarian or something like that.
I don't know if this is true, but apparently one of her ex-husbands went on to marry her sister.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Great chat, though. Great.
She was a lovely looking woman, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Stunning when she was an actress, and she was incredible talker as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, she had 9 exes. You can let us know how many partners you've had at the one time. That's what I'm joking. Don't do that. Speaking of which, talkSPORT's very own Neo, Sam Ellard, is here with the latest in the T20 between England and New Zealand. Morning, Sam.
Don't distract me, Shebahn. Good morning. New Zealand winning the toss. They are bowling and they're off to a pretty decent start. They've just picked up their second wicket into the 5th over. England 29 for 2. The first wicket to fall was Phil Salt for 3. Jacob Duffy, the bowler, hitting a length, the ball moving all away as Phil Salt looked to heave the ball into the leg side. It got a thick top edge. A good catch by Chapman down at deep third. Jacob Bethel in at 3, got to 15 and then he got out. Henry coming in with a short ball. Bethel on the back foot looking to pull the ball into the leg side. All he could do was hit the ball high in the air for a return catch for Matt Henry. So Henry and Duffy opening the bowling, and the bowling nicely for New Zealand. Both got a wicket each. Josh Bartlett not out on 10. The captain Harry Brook has just come to the crease. He's yet to face the ball into the 5th over. Good start for New Zealand. England 29 for 2.
Sam, thank you very much. You can get it all live on talkSPORT too. See, Sam, I think Sam's single, and I think when you're dating, you're allowed to date multiple people, aren't you? So like that's kind of similar. I don't know if you are allowed to do that or not, but I think there is a rule. If you're seeing someone, it means you can. No, I don't know.
I don't know. It would have been different from my days.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rules are different now. As everything in life evolves and changes, there are different rules. And look, I've got couple around the age of the mid-20s, and
what currently?
No, not like children who are they have boyfriends or girlfriends or whatever, and you never know how long it's going to last. It's nothing like the past. And the past wasn't great. I mean, my mum was pregnant at a very young age, had me and my sister before she was 20. And
that was
you can't imagine that now, can you?
Married with kids then was completely normal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Polyamorous, though, that is new and fascinating. Former West Ham manager Graham Potter is in talks to become Sweden's next head coach. More on that coming later. And what feels like a huge 6-pointer already, Burnley face Leeds at Turf Moor. Here's our reporter with everything you need to know.
This is John Dunn, and Turf Moor will be my destination to watch Burnley and Leeds United. It's last season's Championship top 2 meeting back in the Premier League. After being unbeaten at home for the entirety of last season, the Cloudets are now 3 without a win at their Lancashire home and start the day in the bottom 3. Leeds cross the Yorkshire border, having won 2 of their 7 Premier League games, including the last one on the road at Wolves. Mickey Gray will be watching alongside me for Burnley against Leeds.
John Dunn, thank you very much. All of the updates as well coming for you here on talkSPORT. And GameDay Live from 2:30 today with Adrian Durham. Listen, I don't know if your timeline is absolutely full of sumo wrestlers like mine is at the moment, because Sumo is here in London this week. Wrestlers have been wandering around getting the sights and getting selfies with Big Ben. They've been taking in pints and enjoying themselves, really. It just looks like they're having the crack, the sumo wrestlers. It's all part of the Champions League final of the sport, the Grand Sumo Tournament. It's here at the Royal Albert Hall for just the second time in the sport's 1,500-year history. And here to tell us more about sumo wrestling, we've got the honour of speaking to 9-time amateur British sumo champion Mandeep Singh Kundi. Good morning, Mandeep. How are you?
Mandeep.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you
Very
so
well,
much.
thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Nice to have you with us, Mandeep. I was going through your social media yesterday. I mean, you're proper sumo. Don't mean for that to sound daft, but like it's quite incredible because it's not something we see all too often here.
Sure. Yes. Very discreet, but it's been here since 1985. Amateur sumo. Yes. So hopefully looking to grow that with this lovely tour by the professionals.
Tell us, Mandeep. I mean, look, I'm purely a layman on this because I've watched it at times, and you see the super heavyweights, and I'm sure they have all different weight categories. But it's a sport that is literally so historic, like you say. How many sports go back that far?
You're quite right. It is a very old sport, but where there are no weight classes, actually, it's almost like an absolute a weight category with an average of about 150 kilos. There is now amateur sumo in over 80 countries where there are weight classes. Sumo is open to women, and my God, they are amazing. Kids also, even people who have certain disabilities. I have someone in my club here in West London who's partially sighted, but that's taking inspiration from the professionals. This is where it all comes from, and this is why London is in awe at the moment, seeing them on their doorstep.
Mandeep, tell us about the etiquette of the sport, because it feels like a very honourable sport all the time. Every time I've watched it, there is no sort of anger before, and there's no sort of. It just feels like they have huge respect for each other.
Yes, the sort of whole premise is one of respect. It comes from Shintoism, which was the central religion in Japan some time ago. And so you're encouraged not to show emotion as a sign of respect, almost be in a state of equilibrium before, during, and after. Of course, emotion comes, we are people, but to keep that at bay, just try and be in the moment, celebrate it, of course, but ultimately not be showing too much emotion, almost like a game of poker.
Yeah, I mean, very much so like myself, Mandeep. I'm emotions all up the walls every different day. Even the way you speak just now, you've got a very calming presence. I mean, is that part of the kind of sumo wrestling culture as well?
Yes, it's also an individual thing. I think for me, it's been a case of the sport allowing me to hone in on my values and how you can apply those in the ring and outside. So you certainly need a level of calm and composure, especially when you're absorbing and then trying to deflect. But it is something that we can describe for as long as we like. You just have to have the experience.
Yeah.
And this is why British Sumo has over 10 clubs in the country. So I would very much encourage anyone wishing to have a go to think beyond stereotypes, find their local club and have a go.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you noticed, I mean, an increase even of those coming to your club because of the Sumo Wrestling Championships being in the country this week?
There has been more inquiries, certainly. And hopefully there'll be more participation also. It's a case of credibility through visibility, right? So a lot of efforts have gone in, are going in, and will be going in to try to leverage from this amazing visit and hopefully see sumo more apparent in different towns up and down the country.
Mandeep, tell us who people should be looking out for at the Albert Hall, because there's obviously in all sports there's superstars. So tell us anyone we should be looking for.
Well, fortunately, it's a very limited sport. There's a cap on that sort of Premiership, the top division, if you like. It's very easy to follow the story of your favorite wrestler. And my God, there's so many from the upcoming to the established. But of course, everyone's eyes are drawn on the Yokozunas. And at this time, of the 75 that there have been in all, the two current Yokozuna are where everyone's eyes are. So one is Yokozuna Hoshoryu, and he's a real interesting one because he's the nephew of former Yokozuna Sashoryu. So it's almost in the blood.
Right.
And the other is the giant Yokozuna Onosato, who's the most recent to have been given that title. So number 75 so far. And my God, you know, it gives me memories of Akibono back in the day. These two are who I would say you want to look out for.
So these are the grand champions then, the Yokozunas. And also just one more question. What's it like being a sumo wrestler? What's a day-to-day life like, and how much are they eating in a day?
You need the food to fuel the energy you're expending when training, if you're doing it full time. So their day to day is very interesting. They're doing about, on average, 2 hours of training at least 6 days a week. And they have certain other disciplines that they have to follow. For example, I'm in a car right now, not driving, of course, but they're not allowed to drive. There's things like that. But amateur athletes who are self-funded, as you appreciate, would have to be balancing this with studying or working, and therefore how they bring that discipline in their life is completely different alongside their maybe family responsibilities.
Yeah. Mandeep Singh Kundi, thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been good to talk to you. Like I say, it's been viral, these sumo wrestlers in London, so it's been good to get your insight on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandeep.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best.
All the best. Thank you. God, he's a calming presence, isn't he?
Yeah, look, the sport is exactly that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very honourable sport. There isn't an outliner out there who goes and, you know, shelling and shouting and aggressive. It's just not in their DNA.
Yeah, I actually saw
Fair
a
play.
clip yesterday of one of the sumos, and his kind of belt started to come undone, and the referee had to come in and tighten it up. And I thought, oh, that could be a right view. Good, isn't it? And also, happy birthday to Mandeep's son. It's his birthday today, so thank you so much. He shares a birthday with Neo, but that's a story for another time. It's the first day of the first test between England and New Zealand. The game is live for you on talkSPORT 2. We can check in now with what's happening with our head commentators, Steve Harmison and Andrew McKenna on talkSPORT 2.
He could do. It'd be interesting to see how spin goes on here. Mitch Santner, the New Zealand captain, is going to bring himself on. It's a pitch where I think if you hit it hard, then there's inconsistencies in it, and I think it will be harder to hit through the line of the ball. But so far, so good from England's point of view. From a Butler, I'd be happy with 44 for 2 at the end of the power play on a surface like this.
So then, some left arm spin. Left arm around is Santner, and he bowls with a lowish arm. Hurries on through to Joss Butler. Pushes out to extra cover, no run. At the toss, by the way, straight away, both of the captains said, well, yeah, absolutely, we'd have bowled. Chasing sides have won 8 out of 12 and 7 of the last 9 on this ground. So you do prefer to chase. Santner's in once again, inside half of Butler's bat, turns it through mid-wicket. That's brilliant. 2 runs, and the ball has barely left the square. Butler goes to 22. England 46 for 2.
Yeah, very good. And that's what you have to do on surfaces like this. We've seen Jacob Bethel, before he got out, running quick singles. You haven't got to get into the mindset of it's either 6 or 4 or it's nothing. You've got to still rotate the strike. I think that would be the good thing for Brook at this moment in time. While he gets in on the wicket, just rotate the strike, give Butler as much as you possibly can, because he looks as though he started this tour very, very well.
Santner in and bowls, left arm around. Butler's deep in his crease, punches out into the offside. No real timing. They will take a single as Matt Henry will do the fielding. 47 for 2.
It's a well-balanced New Zealand side when you look at it. They've got Jameson, they've got Duffy, they've got Henry, they've got Neesham from a spin point of view. Bracewell and Santner can bowl spin. Rachin Ravindra at a push could probably bowl some spin. So Mitchell again, another sort of a little phantom seamer. So they've got bowlers, plenty of options for Mitchell Santner.
Steve Harmison and Andrew McKenna. The commentary for England versus New Zealand is over for you now on talkSPORT 2. Coming up next, we're going to preview Forest against Chelsea in the Premier League. It's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, you're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne and Tony Cascarino, and if you want the chance to win £100,000, this is the time to get right involved. It's our biggest cash prize to date. It's completely tax-free, 100 grand. Oof, have some of that. Here's how you can get involved.
18 plus UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word cash to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 6th of November at 4 p.m. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Thank you, God. Right, 12:30 today, talkSPORT bringing you live and exclusive commentary of Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. It should be an absolute cracker.
A resounding chance of sacked in the morning. That is what the Nottingham Forest fans think of their new head coach.
7 matches, that's now without a win.
And I don't really blame Ange. I blame Marinakis. How do you sack Nuno?
I think he'll get them going sooner rather than later.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteban who has won it.
Hopefully that gives a boost. They've got a lot of talent in the squad.
Just that belief of that young team to be able to withstand that pressure.
But it's fast becoming clear that Big Ange has got a big job.
It's just who we are, mate.
Looking ahead to the game for us now, we can speak to Forest fan and member of the Garibaldi Girls, Ellie Mollison. Good morning, Ellie.
Ellie.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today? Are you looking forward to this one?
Not
not as excited as I usually am for football. That's to say the least.
Yeah, it's a strange one because you had such a great season last season, Ellie, that, you know, expectation this year of, you know, going into this season and seeing yourself 17th in the Premier League at the moment. And there's a few reasons. You've had a couple of injuries to main players at the back. Anya is not available, I think, again today. I think Morgan Gibbs-White hasn't got going yet, and he's a terrific player for you. So you need him. He's sort of felt to me when I've watched him, he's just a little bit off, say a little bit, a long way from how good he was last season for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Morgan Gibbs-White, every season he struggles at the beginning, but then he finds his form. And it's just been really inconsistent from all the players, to be fair. It's not just Gibbs-White. They'll have one game that's a little bit of a worldie, even if the rest of the players on the pitch aren't doing quite so well. And then after that, it can look like an entirely different player. And I think that comes with the fact that the style that Ange likes to play is so different to what Nuno was playing. And Ange has had no pre-season, as you say, player injuries, and he literally had to hit the ground running with 4 away games off the bat, and not easy ones either. So I feel like we still haven't found a style. It doesn't feel like there is a style of play at the moment. We're a bit confused and things keep chopping and changing. And that is just because of the nature of how difficult it is at the moment with the injuries and what Ange is trying to produce. But it's just not been very good, is the honest answer.
Well, it's always going to be difficult when you replace a guy that was very popular. Yeah. And, you know, you had such a great season last year, European football, and then you're not looking like you're going to score too often as well, especially at home. You won your opening game of the season. After you got beat by West Ham, you look quite vulnerable.
Yeah, that's to say the least. I mean, we're particularly vulnerable at the back, which is something Ange doesn't seem to really fear. His ethos tends to be just score more goals than they do. And I mean, that works. But the problem is it always seems to be that they're scoring more goals than we are, which sounds really silly and obvious. But we just keep leaving ourselves open at the back. But on top of that, you kind of alluded to, we're not scoring many goals. So it doesn't seem to be working at all. But that's a mixture of player injury, of lack of any sort of style and consistency, and the fact that individual players are struggling. I think the biggest one at the moment is Chris Wood. He hasn't scored very many goals since Brentford. I mean, he started so strong with those 2 goals against Brentford. And then under Ange, he's really struggled. And I don't know if that's a personal thing for Chris Wood. I still think he's an absolutely brilliant and underrated player. But it could potentially be, I mean, it's the job of a manager, isn't it, to manage your players, as obvious as that sounds. If your player's lacking confidence and unable to convert when he previously had a conversion rate of 32%, something's going wrong. And I just really want him to find his form back. I actually reckon if Chris Wood finds his form back, we're a different team. We've had so many chances that just haven't been converted, and some of them are so clear-cut chances as well.
Ellie,
it just feels like everything's gone wrong.
Yeah, you don't seem very confident. Did Ange's presser inspire you yesterday when he was talking about, you know, the story always ends the same? If you give me time, I'll win you a trophy. Or are you just a bit like, right, yeah, never mind the trophy, we need to win a game?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. He has proven that tends to be the case, but we don't have the luxury of time. Compared to Tottenham with unlimited money and unlimited squad size, and even when they had that injury crisis, they're still able to bring on unbelievable players. We're recently promoted, and whilst I do believe that we are a big club for our own reasons, historically, we do not have the luxury of taking a player off the bench that's £60 million. So the luxury of time is something that we absolutely do not have.
You're right, and that is the wicked way of the Premier League at the end of the day as well. Ellie Mollison from the Garibaldi Girls, Forest fan, thank you so much. We'll get you on again soon. It was good to talk to you.
Cheers,
Thank
Ellie.
you very much.
Thank you, Ellie. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll discuss one of the other 3 o'clock kickoffs. It's Sunderland versus Wolves next.
The Premier League's profit and sustainability rules are sold to us as financial fair play, a way to keep clubs from going bust. But there are those who feel it's starting to look a lot like a system that protects the big boys and keeps the rest in their lane. Here's how it works and why people feel that way. So clubs can only lose 105 million quid over 3 years, which sounds fair, but here's the kicker. Your limit includes how much you earn. So if you're one of the traditional top 6, you've got massive global revenue streams and you can spend way more while still technically following the rules. Meanwhile, ambitious clubs who've got money like Newcastle, Villa or Forest, well, they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Newcastle might be backed by Saudi billions, but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Want to buy world-class talent? Well, PSR says to them, your owner might have the money, but you're not making enough in shirt sales in Asia for that. The Magpies won their first domestic trophy since 1955, qualified for the Champions League, which you'd think would be a great springboard for them to go on and start building a team to challenge at the top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract, and look what's happened there. Nottingham Forest tried to invest to survive, they did that, but they got punished anyway. Meanwhile, clubs like Spurs, until last season, hadn't won a trophy in over 18 years, but because they rake in cash from the new stadium, they get a much bigger PSR allowance than a newly promoted club who are just trying to stay up. And let's not forget the loopholes these big boys are exploiting. Chelsea found the trick with those long contracts, selling the women's team. City are masters of related party sponsorships. Etihad this, Etisalat that, all within the rules, and fair play to them for capitalising on those opportunities. But what about the smaller clubs? They don't have that luxury. Now look, financial sustainability matters. Nobody wants another Bury or Morecambe situation. But there's increasing concern that rather than levelling the playing field, the current rules cement the existing hierarchy. So what's the solution? Well, either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons while the rest play musical chairs for 7th. And that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
Good morning, you're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. It's Shebahn Aherne alongside former Chelsea and Marseille striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Coming up for you today, Crystal Palace take on Bournemouth after the Toffees ended their 19-game unbeaten run. Palace manager Oliver Glasner knows the Cherries will provide a tough test after their hot start to the season.
They are doing so well. High appreciation what Iraola is doing at Bournemouth. So when you see it's not just what they're doing, how they're doing it.
Manchester City face Everton at the Etihad as the citizens look to make it 3 wins on the bounce.
Said many times, don't come naturally. Come when the club, on that case the manager, the players feel it. So we are not the same like we started 20 years or 30 years or 10 years ago. We are completely different.
Pep Guardiola, no retirement for him yet. And on Thursday's kick-off, Jermaine Pennant to join Natalie Sawyer and claimed that Elliot Anderson's impressive form is keeping Adam Wharton out of Thomas Tuchel's England selection.
Wharton was probably ahead of him at one stage, but he's took it with both hands. When the opportunity arises, you've got to take it, and he's been doing that. And like I said, when you come up against opposition, you only put out your best and do your best. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, and he's doing it.
Does Tony Cascarino agree? We'll get his thoughts on that very, very soon. A bumper day of action, the Prem, the EFL is back, and we have got you covered here on talkSPORT. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good morning. So 12:30 at Forest take on Chelsea. That's live for you here on talkSPORT. And then you've got a number of 3 o'clock kickoffs cast. Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Leeds, Palace, Bournemouth, which you're going to.
Yep.
Man City, Everton is at 3 o'clock. Sunderland, Wolves, and then 5:30 Fulham have Arsenal. What do you expect from Palace, Fulham today, going along to that game? I mean,
Palace, Bournemouth.
Sorry, Palace, Bournemouth.
Yeah. What do I expect? Well, being taught, and I love this, when you go to a game and you look at 2 coaches and you think how good they are at their job and think, what am I going to learn today? You know, just watching it live. I'm looking forward to Semenya up against who I think's a very unfortunate left back in Tyreek Mitchell, who I think should have been given a call up as a left back, because I think we've all known over the last few seasons that he's a great defender on one-on-ones. Maybe his end product wasn't as good, but certainly this season it's been outstanding.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him up against Semenya, up against Tyreek Mitchell. I think that's a great battle in the game itself, because Semenya, second top highest goal scorer in the Premier League at the moment, behind Haaland. So lots of good things in this game to look at. Walton, you know, you mentioned there, we just talked about Elliot Anderson and Walton, you know, looking at him, because Adam Walton is a really good player as well. And he suffered last year with a few injuries. If he has a full season, he isn't out the running. He's just got to keep doing what he's doing, because there's no way on earth that a manager of England would ignore him if he keeps his level of performance up.
Yeah, you would think that. talkSPORT's very own Troy Deeney doesn't think the Crystal Palace star is quite ready for the step up to Champions League football.
I'm not sold on him 100%, if I'm being totally honest. I think he's very good. I think he's very neat, very tidy. He absolutely should be in the England squad, because I think that 6 area is an area that we struggle with. Minus Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson now has stepped up into that. But I think if I was Adam Wharton, I'd be saying Jordan Henderson had his time. I want my time. So we could be frustrated with that. But I see a lot of talk at the moment about going to Champions League places and wanting to play at a higher level. I haven't seen that consistently enough yet, both with fitness and staying fit and available. And then secondly, like, what's he going to cost roughly to go to these other teams? Probably 70, 80 million?
What do you think about that? I mean, can you understand why Thomas Tuchel is favouring Anderson over Wharton at the moment?
Anderson's been exceptional. Yeah. You know, and also he's watched him with the under-21s in the summer and came away thinking with glowing praise of Elliot Anderson, of how well he played then, how well he started the season he had last year with Nottingham Forest. He's definitely ahead of Adam Wharton. But that doesn't mean he'll be ahead, you know, in April or May by the end of the summer. You know, I think they're 2 really good players. I do think Elliot Anderson's going to be a star. I do think that, because he has so many good qualities about him. But Adam Wharton is not that far behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great player.
You know, just keep your performance is all about being consistent. You know, where I slightly disagree with Troy is that, you know, is he going to be a £78 million player? And I think he's one of them players that you appreciate when you watch him, about his simplicity of his game, that he hardly ever gives away the ball. He keeps it for fun. And there was quite a lot of clubs who want players that don't give away the ball. So, you know, Palace have got a gem in there. Since he's left and come from Blackburn, I think he's done incredibly well.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think you're bang on. Palace against Bournemouth, 3 o'clock today. All of the updates coming up for you here on talkSPORT, as is Sunderland versus Wolves. Who better to speak to now about this game than a man who played for both sides? A very good morning to Carlos Edwards. Good morning.
Hi, Carlos. Good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, well, how are you today? You all right?
All is well. I mean, on this fine Saturday morning, nowhere else better to be than on the show.
Yeah. Carlos, I just said there, and one of the exciting things I'm looking at this game is Semenya up against Tyreek Mitchell, because I just think Tyreek's done brilliantly well. Semenya started the season absolutely on fire in Bournemouth. Give us your thoughts on that.
I'm absolutely still surprised that Semenya hasn't been bought by one of the top clubs. I mean, it's good business from Bournemouth in that aspect in terms of holding on to him. And obviously Mitchell, you thought obviously with another season, I think he will progress. But that, as you rightly said, is going to be a nice battle to be to have a look at, because you have 2 players who's actually on top of their game at this point in time, and is who favours it more, who wants it more.
Yeah, and you look at the dugouts and you think, wow, these 2 managers, what they've done with these 2 football clubs has been extraordinary.
It's absolutely extraordinary, and it's always the case when clubs goes for these managers to an extent where they know what they're going for, what they want to get out of the manager, and the manager goes in there and he gets the best out of the players. So it's a what the word I'm actually looking for. They complement each other when the manager trusts the players and the players trust the manager. So there, in a nutshell, you get a nice combination where everyone could integrate together and know exactly where we want to go.
Yeah, both sitting in the top 6 at the moment. I'm sure by the end of the weekend it probably will change, but fair play to them, through what 6, 7 games as we stand, 7 games. Brilliant.
It's never going to change in terms of, it's every game that you play in the Premier League is never an easy game. So you have to be, at it at 100% at all times.
Yeah. Who's been at it this season? Your former club Sunderland are sitting 9th in the Premier League. They've got Wolves today, your other former club who are rock bottom. How do you see this one going? I mean, and how impressed have you been with Sunderland so far this season? I'm
actually impressed. I know obviously it had a big overhaul of players and stuff. They went bold by getting, Saka and stuff, experience in terms of games played in the Premier League. I mean, he is coming down at age, but that is what Sunderland was missing in all the years, that I was there, and before and after. Didn't have really leaders. He had players there just going in maybe just because he has to be back in the Premier League and, get a few games. But he's went bold, and I'm really impressed with their starts thus far.
Yeah, is it unfair, Carlos? Because Sunderland has always had this sort of, the feeling is that players won't go and play at Sunderland, which I don't think is 100% true. I just think they've had difficult times. I remember Noel Quinn speaking about, attracting certain players to Sunderland. But you've got, I always say, you have to go, if you're going to go to a football club, you've actually got to want it in your heart and your head.
But this is it. Players need to go. I mean, when I went, I didn't hesitate. I didn't have a second thought. I knew I was going to do better for my career and go. And the fans are so passionate. You rightly said, Niall was right with when he said, players need to go and come, because it's a beautiful club. It's a big club. And it's not just good for the Premier League. It's good for the Tyne and Wear derby. Newcastle, Sunderland, that derby is absolutely so fierce. It's, and it's good for the fans. It's good for the Northeast. But you just have to be ready to go and play football, enjoy the football. So I don't see why Sunderland is.
Yeah.
People say that they're not going to attract.
Well, it's always bright lights, Carlos, isn't it?
Yeah, of course,
everyone alludes to that the bigger cities. It happens abroad as well. Madrid, Barcelona. All clubs have it in different countries.
And that would never change. But as you rightly said, you need to go with your mind and your body to say, I'm going to make something out of myself and I'm going to make the club proud.
Yeah. Just while we've got you as well, Carlos, another defeat for Ipswich last night. Have you got concerns there?
I do. I really do. I go every week, home games, and it's just a consistency. And, sometimes it baffles me a bit when, the early stages, when obviously the international break don't really help sometimes, but the consistency with the players, it's a bit of a bug, mind-blowing for me, because you're playing against some of the top teams, as they say, absolutely playing them off the park. And then, I mean, to be fair, Middlesbrough had absolutely a great start to the season, no disrespect to them. But you're watching the quality that Ipswich has, and you're thinking, why are the players are not gelling together? And you could tell sometimes there's too much changes, from one game to the next, and players not getting that opportunity. So, but I think they will get at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Well, let's hope it goes well for your sides today. At least one of them anyway. Carlos, thank you so much for your time this morning.
It's a pleasure to be on the show.
Oh, lovely.
Cheers,
thank
Carlos.
you so much for coming
Okay.
on.
Have a lovely
Carlos
weekend.
Edwards there is former Sunderland and Wales. He's another Cameron presence on the show as well.
Well, he's happy. He's sort of, he's retired now from being a footballer, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's enjoying the fruits of what I'm sure he did in his career.
Absolutely.
So, fair play.
Over on talkSPORT 2 today, you've got New Zealand versus England in the first T20. It's there for you now. Here's Sam Ellard with all of the latest.
Well, England need a calming presence out in the middle at the moment, Shebahn, because England are in trouble. Into the 13th, 84 for 5, 2 wickets since you last were with me. And the big wicket for New Zealand, Josh Buttler going for 29, looking to come down the wicket and hit the off-spinner Bracewell back down the ground. Didn't get enough of it though in the field, and Matt Henry out long off took the catch. Tom Banton went for 9, owing in a very similar way to Josh Buttler, this time off the bowling of Santner, once again coming down the wicket, looking to use his feet. Didn't get enough of it, was caught along off by Neesham. So the 5 wickets to fall, Salt for 3, Buttler for 29, Bethel 15, Brook 20, Banton 9. That means now at the creases, Curran and Cox. Curran not out on 5, Cox unbeaten on 1. And these two really for England need to bat deep. Lots of time still left in this innings into the 13th over. Cox and Curran at the crease. England with lots of work to do at 84 for 5.
All of it live for you now over on talkSPORT 2. Sam Ellard back with the details very, very soon. Coming up next, we're going to speak to former Fulham, Rangers and Villa striker Ross McCormack to look ahead to the late game at Craven Cottage this evening. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Morning.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, welcome to Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside talkSPORT's very own Neo, Mr. Tony Cascarino. Just for the voice, Cass. Just for the voice.
Yeah.
Cascarino, I like that, Alex Howard.
Cascarino.
Yeah. Happy birthday to DJ Alex today, by the way, Alex.
What
Howard.
was his biggest hit, Neil?
This would have been it.
What's it?
Independent.
I thought Closer. Closer was a big hit.
Closer was a great song.
Is it Closer?
Was it? Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, so.
Again, I'm going back to my kids, listening to them. What Neo?
Neo songs. There was another one with love songs. So sick of love songs. Give Me Everything, Because of You. Mad was a great song as well.
Right, okay.
Which is just hilarious because our producer Sam told us today it's Neo's birthday and we were like, oh, happy birthday, Neo. And then he was like, and Neo's got 4 different partners. He's polyamorous, and Cass didn't know what that was, so we've had a bit of an education about Neo's love life and, you know, and just like the idea of having 4 different...
Well, I thought wives at first, and that would be committing bigamy, wouldn't it?
Especially, I think, in this country. Well, he's in the Australian as well, but I mean, fair play.
Yeah, I know. There's some mad things there, isn't there? That's crazy stuff.
Yeah, so many people getting in touch with this as well. Good morning to Mark from Bangor. He said 4 partners is all well and good, but what about the 4 mother-in-laws?
Yes.
Imagine the mother-in-laws are a bit like, oh, I can't wait to meet your new partner. Oh, there's 3 others as well. Right, that's a normal conversation.
I know.
It's becoming the thing, though, Cass.
Oh, I don't. How are you going to manage financially a world what we're going through with all the pain of finance, economy?
I don't know.
I mean, it's okay for Neo, who's super wealthy, I'm sure, but if you're just, it's not for normal people, is it?
Yeah, but
whatever normal is.
Think about it. Say you have.
So what? They're all paying their way.
So say one week out the month, right? Incomes. I don't know, let me call him Mark, right?
Well, he must be funding them all.
Mark's a good cook. Next week I bring in Jamie. Jamie's a good clean. Next week comes in Steve. Steve, great with the kids. Brilliant. He looks after the kids for me. Week 4, just someone who's really good looking.
So
I like it.
Your husband Jamie would be okay with
it. He'd probably be all right with it as well. Give him a bit of a break. Happy birthday, Neo. I hope you got lots of lovely gifts from all of your partners.
Yeah.
Right, looking at today's back pages, it's all about Ange Postecoglou because he's the first came back from the international break. Forest taking on Chelsea today, 12:30, live for you here on talkSPORT. It was all about his press conference yesterday saying, if you look at the story, how it all works out, if you give me time, I will win trophies at the club. Ange's anger is back page of the Mirror this morning, and the Sun going for Ange is at it again. You'll find out live here on talkSPORT 12:30 what happens in that game. And it's time now to get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18 plus max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
John, you know what we're going to ask. I mean,
I certainly do. How long are we doing?
What odds, John? Of you having 4 partners?
Well, like you, I'm just thinking of can you imagine birthdays, Valentine's Day? Cost you a fortune, won't it, Cass? Absolute fortune. So, no, thank you. Good luck to Neil.
That's what I said.
Happy birthday to him as well.
John, I said exactly that. So think of the costs of, you have to be super wealthy to even consider.
You certainly would.
Yeah.
And
has he got children by someone?
7 children.
And he's got 7. Well,
wow.
7 children, yeah. Busy guy, really busy.
He's a busy guy, isn't he? How's he got time to make music?
I know.
That's what I want to know.
It sounds like he makes a lot of music.
Yeah. Jesus. Somebody save us. John, shall we talk about the Premier League odds today, please?
Let's do it, yes.
Early kick-off. Come on, John. Nottingham Forest taking on Chelsea. What prices?
Well, you mentioned Big Dan's that press conference yesterday. He's under serious pressure, isn't he, to keep his job? Not been in it very long, but he's already the favourite in the next Premier League manager to leave is Big Dan. So big game today for him. Chelsea 11-10 favourites to come away with 3 points. And Forest 23-10 for the victory. 13-5 the draw. I'm just reading here, winless in the last 9 games, Nottingham Forest. So very different to last season. They got off to a flyer last year, obviously qualified for Europe, but they're not. They're certainly under pressure, and they're actually shortening all the time in our Premier League relegation betting of Forest. So big game for both teams today for different reasons. Forest need a victory just to ease relegation concerns, and obviously Chelsea chasing things at the top end of the Premier League table.
A lot of other great games today, John. I'm going to Palace versus Bournemouth. Tell us the best of the rest.
Yeah. Well, that's a good game. It's a cracking game, actually. Bournemouth, obviously, one of the surprise packages this season. They're actually 5-2 to win today at Palace. I think that's a decent value. They're in great form, aren't they, Bournemouth, this season? Palace 6-5 at home. Again, another side in decent form. The draw 23-10. So I think you picked certainly one of the better of the 3 o'clock games, Cass, there. City 4-9 favourites to beat Everton today. They've certainly improved significantly in recent weeks of Pep Guardiola's side. And then at 5:30, the league leaders Arsenal, odds on now, bear in mind, for the Premier League title. Arsenal, they're 1-2 to keep that top spot in the Premier League table. Fulham 11-2 to cause an upset, 16-5 the draw. But I will bear in mind here, Arsenal, the last 2 trips to the Cottage, haven't won. So it's not an easy place to go for Arsenal, but if they're going to do it this season, they're looking good form, don't they, the Gunners?
Absolutely. John, just quickly, British Champions Day at Ascot, what's the odds there?
Yeah, it's a big day for racing. It's effectively the flat season finale today at Ascot. 5 Group 1 races, tons and tons of prize money on offer. And one of the particular races for me is the race at 3:25, the Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, where we see Field of Gold make his return to action. So that should be an absolute cracker. And at 4:05, the Champion Stakes, where you've got Calandigan, Economics, Delacroix, the Coral Eclipse winner, and Ombudsman. So really good racing at Ascot today. Should be good weather as well, dry conditions. So we're set for a stunning end to the British flat season.
Absolutely. John Hill, thank you so much. Have a good day today. And we'll catch up with you again a little bit later on. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+, begambleaware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Coral, the home of a free-to-play Golden Rewards Shaker. 18+ max 1 reward per player per selected Shaker day. 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restrictions and T's and C's apply. Gambleaware.org.
So coming up next, we'll look ahead to the weekend's Premier League action. Former Fulham striker Ross McCormack with us next. Good morning, you're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne alongside former Villa and Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. And here's what's coming up for you here on the station today. Oh, you're in for a wee belter. Over on talkSPORT 2 right now, you've got live cricket. The first T20 between New Zealand and England is underway. Watching is our Sam Ellard. Sam.
16.2 overs gone. England 110 for 5. We're off for rain. It's spitting at the Hagley Oval. Fingers crossed it's just a shower and we're back out shortly. If we do, Curran resumes on 16. Cox has 12. A few England batsmen getting starts, not able to really push on. Butler making 29. Brook making 20. Bethel making 15. It's raining. Let's hope it goes away quickly. And if we get back out soon, England 110 for 5 into the 17th.
Thank you very much, Sam Ellard here with all the updates today. And you can watch it and listen to it live over on talkSPORT 2. Also the talkSPORT YouTube cricket channel to get all the latest there. After us this morning, Max and Charlie have the warm-up from 9 through till 11, and then it's game day exclusive live from the City Ground. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea, 12:30 at kick-off, while on talkSPORT 2 3 more live games from the EFL. QPR versus Millwall at 12:30. Table toppers Cov take on Blackburn at 3, and then 7:45 it's Leicester versus Portsmouth. And here on 2:30 on talkSPORT Game Day Live, Adrian Durham going to round the grounds with all of our reporters at all of the games, including this man, the best eyebrows at talkSPORT.
Hi, I'm Ollie Klink. I'm on my way to the Amex today for Brighton against Newcastle. Brighton are on a 3-game unbeaten run, while Newcastle picked up back-to-back wins before the international break. But the Magpies have never won at the Amex in the Premier League. I'll have Alvin Martin, the former England centre-half, alongside me for Brighton against Newcastle.
Looking forward to it. Ollie Klink, 5:30. The wind-up merchants are back on talkSPORT. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking all of your calls on today's football with the Game Day phone-in. And then it's Rory Jennings at 7:30 and Fight Night at 9 o'clock. All coming up for you here on talkSPORT. If you've got plans, take us with you. Download the talkSPORT app for free, and we will be with you all day today. You can also watch us on your smart TV or stream us on the YouTube channel as well. Late game this afternoon is Fulham versus Arsenal. We heard from John Hill there in the betting. Arsenal haven't won the last two at Craven Cottage. Looking forward to this one today, Cass?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, Arsenal have got themselves to the top of the table at the moment, taking on a Fulham team that got some, I really like the boy Josh King. He needs a goal. I saw him score at Chelsea and it was disallowed very harshly. But he definitely needs a goal because his performances have been really good for Fulham. And And obviously, Marco Silva's put a lot of trust in him as an 18-year-old, being in that team behind Jimenez. But I think he's a real talent, absolutely real talent.
The Cottagers come into this one following back-to-back defeats, but have yet to lose a home game this season. Ahead of this London derby, Fulham manager Marco Silva said his side have the capability to cause a big upset against the Gunners.
I think it's not new. Last season they were very, very strong as well, 2 seasons ago. And the reality that recently you have been very tough to play against for Arsenal, and we want to do the same, even with all that absences, all that injuries that we have, players not at his best physical level point of view, but is the reality. But we want to show our quality as well, and to make to show that you are capable to compete even without 5 or 6 players that have been very important for us.
What do you think about that cast? Do you think they have the minerals to defeat Arsenal today?
It'll take their best performance. You know, you look at Fulham, you go straight away, they got some decent players in there. I mentioned Josh King. I think they're organised. I think Harry Wilson sort of established himself as well. Experience of Jimenez up front, Iwobi on the other side, and you have fullbacks, Castagna, very experienced, Sessignon as likewise. I like the midfield of Lukic and Burge. I think they're decent players, decent keeper. So, yeah, absolutely. Look, if Arsenal are on song, it would be hard to stop them because they're such a hard team to play against. But Fulham will have to be at their best today to get a result, that's for sure. Yeah,
Fulham have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their last 20 Premier League games against the Gunners, who last failed to score in this fixture in August 2008. Speaking of scoring for Arsenal, Mikel Arteta was asked about Viktor Gyökeres and that kind of slowish start that he's had to the season.
Yeah.
As a striker, you see it all the time.
Goals, I had it myself. I joined Aston Villa. Took me 7 games to score. You know, you want to get goals early doors. It's a bit like goalkeepers having to make saves. You want to get that little bit of confidence of getting on a roll of some sort. And it's important. Gyökeres, by the way, in the last couple of international breaks, think of this, right? Isaac Gyökeres up front for Sweden. They lost both games, didn't score against Kosovo and Switzerland with a 200+ million strike force.
That's crazy.
Sweden. How crazy is that? Both of them need games, obviously, because their pre-season was interrupted. That's what happens sometimes, Shebahn. You know, you have a move, but with that, it comes at a bit of a price of being absolutely prepared physically for the season.
Arne Slot was asked about Isak yesterday in his press conference as well, saying, you know, he's ready to go now. Obviously, Manchester United tomorrow. We'll talk about more of that tomorrow. But you're right, there's pressure on these strikers now for the big money. You know, there always is.
Well, your numbers, aren't you? Your basically your CV is about numbers. You know, you take Erling Haaland, who we talk about at length. His numbers are ridiculous. Harry Kane's numbers ridiculous. Lewandowski ridiculous. So when you go for a big fee, expectation at least you're going to be now, which used to always be a really good standard, is scoring 1 in 2 games. Yeah. But most people are looking and thinking, you've got to get the bigger numbers.
Yeah. Odegaard as well, not present.
Yes, a loss. Yeah.
Such a loss, you know, because
But Eze can come in. And look, Arsenal have built a squad to say, look, Eze can come into that midfield and he can play that number 10 role, or it's certainly in the position that Odegaard plays. I don't think it's a big issue for Arsenal at all. That Odegaard's a good player, and of course you want competition, but I don't think it's the biggest problem. You know, you've got to break down that Arsenal back line. Jimenez will have a real job this afternoon, taking on, you know, the likes of Gabriel and Saliba. You know, they're real handful defenders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Arsenal away to Fulham this evening, 5:30. All the updates coming for you here on talkSPORT. Also 3:00 this afternoon, Leeds take on Burnley. Huge game for both of these clubs, to be fair. Ahead of it, Daniel Farke says he doesn't view it as much of a win game, despite playing against a fellow promoted side.
For us, it were the 2 most difficult games last season. Yeah, why should it be right now a must-win game? So we haven't won 1 game last season against Burnley and still managed to win the league. All 38 games are big, and you have to prepare like for a festive period for each every game. If you don't do this, you have no chance on Premier League level.
Leeds 15th in the table, Burnley in 18th. Is this a must-win game for Leeds, or just for either side?
Well, Leeds have done okay. You know, Shebahn, I look at the table and I think that Leeds has not been that disappointing. Nor really. I mean, look, Burnley have got the toughest job in all. Mm-hmm. Of all the teams that are going to play in the Premier League season, Scotty Parker's got the toughest job keeping Burnley in. because they don't, they can spend money, but they don't have the budgets and the squad size, for me, of a team that's going to, keep them in the Premier League. I think it's a hard push. So it's a championship game last year. Both of these teams had exceptional seasons. The points tally they got last year, both plus 90 in the championship, nearly to 100. These are good sides in the championship, but you're being punished in the Premier League by a better standard of football. Yeah. So if you make mistakes, you can't Burnley can no way keep clean sheets like they did last year. Obviously, they lost 1 or 2 as well, but they can't. You're going to concede goals that you wouldn't have conceded in the Championship last year.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it goes. In terms of the relegation battle, is it just too soon to say, or do you?
It's too soon. I think there's obviously, looking at the table, I do think I feared for West Ham. They've made a change now. At the start of the season, I said that I felt they'd have a really tough year. So obviously Graham Potter's left. I always felt Burnley were anything above the bottom 3 is extraordinary if they can achieve that. So at the moment, it's just a tad too early. We're surprised by Forest. That has been a surprise that they would be, after 7 games, sitting in 17th place. So, yeah, I think it's too early. I think Wolves will get out of it. I don't see Wolves. I think Pereira, the manager, the way they play, they are capable of beating a lot of teams. And I think their last 2 or 3 performances have shown really the form of last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Coming up, we'll continue to preview the rest of the weekend's football action ahead of you, and we'll do a little bit of Cascarino. Yes, Cascarino.
And welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it! Oh! Oh!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, you're listening to talkSPORT. It's Weekend Sports Breakfast with Shebahn Aherne Tony Cascarino. Some of your headlines this Saturday morning. Middlesbrough went back to the top of the Championship. They delivered a statement victory over pre-season promotion favourites Ipswich Town. Last night it was live here on talkSPORT 2, and Red Bull's Max Verstappen beat McLaren's title rivals Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri to take pole for the sprint race for the United States Grand Prix. And it's been a busy old week, hasn't it? Lots going on in the world of sports. talkSPORT.com is where you can head with a cup of tea and drink it all in. Here's talkSPORT's Sean O'Brien with what you need to know.
Yes, talkSPORT.com is the place to go, especially for all things boxing. Read our exclusive interview with Frank Warren, who named a 7-time national champion who retired at 22 as the biggest underachiever he ever promoted. Find out what Alexander Usyk thinks about fighting British superstar Moses Atalma in his next bout, and see who's thrown their name in the ring to be Terence Crawford's next opponent following his incredible victory over Canelo Alvarez. That's all over on talkSPORT.com.
Sean O'Brien, thank you very much. Have you watched The Greatest Showman with Eddie Hearn?
The film?
Hearn yet? No, the series on Netflix with Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn?
No.
No, it's like
that'd be an interesting story.
Running the business and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I've met Eddie, and Barry not so much, but I've met Eddie a few times.
Yeah.
Well,
talkSPORT's in it all the time.
Yeah,
it's like a big part of the story is him coming in and having these face-offs with Simon Jordan, and how it just descends into pure
fair play to him. I mean, Barry had an incredible. I knew some of the snooker players of years gone by, and done an amazing job for snooker, and then took it to other sports. And Eddie, his son, has took it on brilliantly.
Yeah, I know it's a really good show actually. It's funny. Yeah. You should watch it now. By the way, we're bringing you every goal as they go in today from the Premier League, the EFL, and beyond on GameDay live from 2:30 with the GOAT Adrian Durham across everything for you today. And then tomorrow, already looking forward to 4:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
iPads will be given to the children. Don't judge me, and I'll be fully fixed on what's happening at Anfield. I mean,
you can watch YouTube, you can watch your life.
Watch whatever you want, troops. And if you fancy, you can go and get me a top up of wine.
Yeah, okay.
Too young for that yet.
Yeah, big one tomorrow.
I mean, that's it for Liverpool being defeated by Chelsea going into the international break in the fashion that they wear as well. You know, it feels like maybe it's the ideal time for Man United to face them.
No, I think it's the worst time to face Liverpool. Yeah. And I'd argue that there's going to be a few question marks. Is Slot's lineup? I think it's last chance saloon for Mo Salah. I don't think he can afford to have another poor game. Now, he scored 2 against Djibouti in the World Cup for Egypt, so that's a great boost. I'm sure Arne Slot will be delighted that he got a couple of goals in that World Cup qualifier. But he knows that he's got to perform. He has to play well in this game and make a big difference, because Mo Salah's been an extraordinary player for Liverpool that's set a very, very high standard. At the moment, or start of this season, he hasn't got near to it.
I know.
For me,
it actually feels strange talking about it.
No, look,
it's quite a drop, you know.
I mean, we've all been there, Shebahn. We've had real poor periods of our career. We've all bad, but Mo set such a big standard. You know, the reason he's paid so much money is because of his influence on the team and effect on games. And so far, we haven't seen that. Liverpool have not got going. I think there's big decisions to be made. I think Slot has got to really select what he thinks are his best 11. Because I don't think it's been that.
Do you think it'll be Isak? Do you think he'll be in there?
Isak will definitely play for me, because he's had games under his belt, and I do believe, watching him at Chelsea, that he looks way sharper than he did. Okay. And I think now we can judge Isak from now on in. But I think there's other challenges in the team as well.
Very quickly, I mean, they say the table never lies. If United defeat Liverpool tomorrow, they'll move within 2 points of the champions.
Yeah. And, you know,
still early though.
Look, it's very early days, and we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves to some degree. United, for their reasons, need a big result, because that, you know, monkey hanging on the back of not getting back-to-back wins for Amorim, and also going to Anfield and putting on a performance. Obviously, the result is the ultimate thing, but if you can put on a performance and get a result, then the United faithful can take hope from that, that things are moving in the right direction.
Looking forward to it. 4:30 tomorrow. All of the updates coming for you on GameDay live on talkSPORT. Over on talkSPORT 2 just now. You can swipe across there on the talkSPORT app. It's T20 action between New Zealand and England. Sam Ellard is here with the latest. Sam.
Yeah, back out playing 17 overs, gone England 116 for 6. The 6 wicket wicket to fall. Jordan Cox for 16 runs, looking to play a big shot off the bowling of Jamieson. Didn't get all of it. Picked out the field and Mitchell out long on. So Brydon Cast has just come to the crease. Sam Curran unbeaten on 21. Into the 18th. England 120 for 6.
All live for you now over on talkSPORT 2, talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. You can watch the watch along there with Steve Harmison there just now. And it's time now for this.
Yes or no? 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 Yes.
We're just so creative with production. Cascari, yes or Cascari, no? This is where we ask Cass some just basic questions and hope that he answers with a Cascari yes, Cascari no, which he never does. He just says yes or no. Fulham's American owner Shahid Khan told talkSPORT exclusively that the Premier League should not consider playing domestic games abroad. Is this the end of the debate now, Cass?
No, it won't be.
It'll rumble on.
It'll rumble on. There's a lot of America owners in the Premier League, and I think they see the bigger picture of finance, more revenue. So I don't think it'll be the end of it at all.
Would you be okay with it?
I think a one-off is fine. It's, obviously...
That's when it starts.
That one-off, and it could become more, like all things. We started with one sub at one time, and we ended up with 7. So, we could be having the same debate about games being played in certain countries.
Really, really, really bugs people, doesn't it? Even this conversation.
I wouldn't be afraid of. I wouldn't be concerned by one match at a time. American football comes here to play games, and okay. But if you made it regular, obviously, then
that's what fans say, is that the
it'll start here and end there.
Was looking to grow its brand, so that's where visiting England and coming to Spurs and Wembley and all that started happening.
Well, they're having pre-seasons,
more
aren't
recent,
they?
But
pre-seasons abroad and getting well financed for that. So. But I think the odd game could work, but not too much.
Fair enough. Graham Potter has been linked with the Sweden job. Can he turn their fortunes around? They are bottom of the World Cup qualifying group.
Well, imagine not having any strikers of any note at West Ham and losing his job, then turning up at Sweden with Isaac and Gyökeres up front off a terrible run because John Dahl Thomason lost his job, didn't he? So what an opportunity for him. And look, it might suit his stage of his career, Shebahn.
Yeah.
And he becomes an international manager, because sometimes that works for managers where, that part-time sort of job, which I'm sure it's not, but the amount of games they play is.
And Ange Postecoglou launched a 5-minute rant yesterday in the press conference.
He's brilliant.
He has his box office, I'll give him that. Are you a fan of the way he acts in the media? Yes or no?
Yeah, I am really, because I do think characters are important.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or agree or disagree, I think it's nice for someone to have a pretty, black or white version of what he thinks.
And he's right. I mean, if given time, there's a good chance he might win another trophy.
I don't think he'll be given. If he loses maybe one too many at Nottingham Forest, he hasn't got an owner that's going to give him time.
Absolutely. 12:30 today here on talkSPORT. Forest to take on Chelsea. One of the great characters on talkSPORT this morning has been Neil, who celebrates...
It's closer.
Yes, it's the one you like.
Yeah.
He celebrates his 46th birthday with 4 different partners. That is some man for one man.
Good luck.
Good luck to you, Neil. Have a great day.
He probably plays golf every day.
Probably doesn't know their names. Disgraceful, but I wouldn't mind giving that a go. Coming up for you today, Forest against Chelsea. You've got several 3 o'clock kickoffs. GameDay live with Adrian Durham from 2:30, going around the grounds and keeping you across absolutely everything. And then it's Fulham against Arsenal at 5:30. Coming up for you next, it's Max and Charlie with a GameDay warm-up. Cash, you're going to go see Crystal Palace game, and we'll see you tomorrow from 6 o'clock.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
See you later. Have a good day. Bye.
Come closer.